Last video, I showed you 3 pillars you can implement today to reverse your biological age. Mine is 32.4, 15 years younger. Today, I'm going to show you the secret, the big reveal of all my supplements I take to be 15 years younger. Basically fight my bad genetics with zero negligible inflammation markers. Fully data driven, backed by my actual blood work, no bullshit. And plus, I'll be asking my personal health AI Iris to explain the science behind each choice. And this is a must watch, hopefully, stay till the end. You don't want to miss this. Before we dive in, quick context. I'm Shankar, 47-year-old engineer. Health is my passion and use health AI Iris to live until 99. I built my own. Took me a couple of weeks, but anyways, it's helping me every day to optimize my health. I use AI for business and life, and I have ClarityLabs.com as kind of my AI consulting firm. And then my personal AI tracks everything from biomarkers, supplements, interaction, my genetics. All used Claude, and I use other AI agents as well. So last video I covered 3 pillars. Metabolic optimization, basically control sugar, insulin, glucose. Sleep optimization. I know how to sleep. Sleep is very critical. Temperature, optimal temperature. A couple. Stop eating a few hours before bed, and then muscle optimization. Muscle is essential for your longevity. That includes exercise, prioritizing protein and everything else. So if you haven't watched it, go watch it. It's like a segue, to this video. So here's what I didn't tell you in the last video. Supplements are my force multiplier. All right. So if I want to put a percentage, obviously diet, health, exercise, it's kind of the critical ones. Then supplements, kind of like icing on the cake. I would say 30%, 40% of, contributed to my biological age and well-being. I would, say supplements are a big factor. So I'm not here to sell anything. I'm not a doctor. Do your research, before taking these supplements, especially if you're on medication. Make sure they don't interact with each other. Consult your doctor and everything. All the supplements I'm going to share today. It's a full stack here. So this is like a little bucket, a tub I keep in my kitchen, and I take it, every morning and night. Pull it down, and it's a collection of all my supplements there. So all the supplements are available on Amazon. I don't get any kickbacks or anything. I'll go through each, from my stack and tell you the reasoning behind each one. Again, this isn't some biohacking gimmick. It's engineering applied to my personal health optimization. All right. Let me share my screen. Um, so, I turned 47 May 12th, and then I checked my blood work. My biological age is 32.4, 15 years younger, roughly 14.5. And then my secret supplement stack. So I divided my supplement stack into 2 segments, main stack and add-on stack. So main stack it's essential. Okay. So if you want to walk away with action item or something useful, at least start with the main stack. Right, add-on stack, I'll explain, again, that's personally tailored to me based on my 16 years of blood work. And then using AI to optimize the supplementation, it's all personalized to my own health. I'll share those too if it applies to you. Obviously, you implement for yourself. So anyways, so the main stack, add-on stack, I'll go through each other. So before I go there, when picking vitamins and supplements, you got to understand few things. All right. So the first two are fat soluble, water soluble. So what that means, if you remember, high school biology, science, or whatever. So fat soluble, like the word it says, it needs fat to be soluble, right? Um, so the vitamins, certain vitamins are fat soluble. So, for example, vitamin A, D, K, they're all fat soluble, right? It needs fat to get processed and absorbed by your body. So second one is water soluble, like the name says, it's soluble in water. So other vitamin B complex, C, those kind of vitamins are water soluble. So you just throw it in. You don't need extra fat or anything to preserve that vitamin. So it just goes in the water or any liquid, synthesizes and then get absorbed in your body. And the third terminology, you guys need to remember when doing research. A lot of people don't know this bioavailability. All right, it's a pretty, I mean, even for me, 10 years ago, I didn't know what that is. So I thought you pop in a vitamin, it gets absorbed in your body right away, and it stays in your system, forever or a day or two, right? So you take it every day. So your assumption mentally is, all right, it's going to stick in your body for days. That's not true. I found out 10 years ago, right? Going into rabbit hole. So bioavailable is basically, let's say you put, I don't know, 10 milligrams, 100 milligrams, 1 gram of a supplement in your body. Let's say vitamin C, D, K, whatever, right? It's how long it stays in your system and in your bloodstream. Okay, so you put your pill in your body, it goes in your gut, get processed. It got to pass through, pretty harsh, environment in your gut, like it's acidic, it gets broken down, and then it get released into through your intestinal walls and then get absorbed in your body through blood and everything. So how long does it stay in your bloodstream, right? So the more it stays, it's better for you, right? So you'll be surprised, some vitamins and minerals barely survives 10 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour. So that's why it's critical for you to understand bioavailability. All right, always check, do your research. But again, don't worry about this. On the main stack, you should be pretty solid, and then also on the add-on stack, it should be pretty solid. With again, all the stuff I pick, I already did the research. All right. So fat soluble, water soluble, bioavailability. So the next, let's start with the main stack. All right. So vitamin D3. So I buy from Amazon. I think a lot of places do. So this company is pretty good now. I like them. They make whey powder. I buy from them as well, whey isolate, but they make a lot of good product supplements, good quality. So this is 5,000 international units. It's vitamin D3. It's one of the essential vitamins. So if you haven't taken it, please get on this. So this guy, obviously, it's called sunshine vitamin. Not everybody can process sunlight. It touches your skin. It needs cholesterol and all other components to get converted to D3. Again, the sunlight is very important. I think there's a certain spectrum which usually comes in the morning around 10 o'clock ish, that's important. And in the evening sunlight, again, if you go to work and if you live in Seattle or any kind of cloudy places, winter, forget it, there's no sun. Plus I have a genetic issue. I cannot process the as efficiently the sunlight into converts to touches cholesterol and goes through your skin, cholesterol, you need cholesterol, all the stuff to convert to this. It's not efficient, so I'm always low. And then I started taking this almost 15 years now, maybe 16. So it works. So how do I know it works? So here's my blood work. um, you'll see mine is 86.7 nanograms per milliliter. So again, one thing you got to remember is any blood test you do with your doctor, they give you a range, right? Again, that range, don't put too much into it. Obviously, you want to see whether you're in the range, which is okay. But always try to shoot for, depending on the metric, shoot for the higher end because it is averaged far from an average person, right? You don't want to be an average. So average person, look around you, they're not healthy. So, if you look at last, 20, 30 years of biomarker data, that's why they consolidate and say, okay, for cholesterol, it needs to be, from A to B, vitamin D level from A to B, blah, blah, blah. That's the range they give you, right? So here, the average range is this blue line. For me, I don't trust averages. I'm above. So you see, it's 86, which is amazing. It's above average. this works. If I stop this, I can literally see that thing go down. Okay. Here's the proof. And I told you guys I have proof. All right. So take this. So the next one, vitamin K2. If you look at my stack, go back here. Vitamin K2, full spectrum. All right. I like this, Innovix Labs. So what is full spectrum? So vitamin K2 is divided into MK4 and MK7. There's two components to it. So it has 500 milligrams or micrograms of MK7 and 100 micrograms of AK7. So let me open this. Again, this is what I meant to tell you. It's fat soluble. This is tiny, guys. I think the oil they use is MCT oil, which is good. So, it's blended in oil. It's fat soluble vitamin. So you take this. Same with vitamin D, fat soluble, tiny guy. I think this one is extra virgin olive oil. That's what it's blended in. So you need to eat these two together. So I take every day in the morning. Sorry, I take at night. So the reason is all my omega supplements I take in the night. So it kind of, omega 3, vitamin D, K, they all play together. So it helps. So I usually take it at night, right? I used to take it in the morning. And then for me, the more I thought about it, made sense to put it at night. So at night, I take this. It's up to you. You can take it in the morning as well. The K and D3. So these guys, Innovix Labs, they started coming up with the new D3K2, and it has vitamin A in it. So I bought this same um, 5000 IU vitamin D3, the same thing. So instead of two separate bottles, I have one. I still got to go through this, but anyway, so if you want to start this journey, so I would rather go. I really like this company, Innovix Labs. So go buy this. No affiliation, nothing, but this has D3, K2, and A as a complement. So it works all synergistically. So I would take one at night or one in the morning. I even give it to my son. So he's 16 years old. I give it to him, a couple of times a week. So another thing about K2, especially for kids, I mean, if you guys heard about Western Price Foundation, so Western Price, a doctor, I think he's a dentist. I forgot which year. It's way back. So he traveled to Africa to a tribe, and then he started, researching why that population don't have a lot of gum disease, teeth disease, because Western civilization, you got cavities like 5-year-old, 6-year-old, 10-year-old. They start cavities very early, right? They got gum disease, all kinds of stuff. So he went on a research and stayed with them and studied their pattern. So long story short, he nailed down vitamin K2 is very essential. That's the one also deposits calcium. So you won't believe it. My son, 16, he has zero cavities. I'm not bullshitting. It's truth. And I've been giving this for I don't know, since he was like 6 or 7. So I throw it. I don't overdose it because it's a thinner. So again, make sure you do your research and contradiction to if you take any prescription medications. Make sure you research the interactions. That's what I'm trying to say. But long story short, if you have kids, it helps. I have only one cavity, so again, I got good genes, so that plays as well. But also, it reverses cavity. So do your research. So, right, this guy is pretty awesome. Let's go back to what's the other one? Omega 3. Okay, so omega 3, fish oil. I like this. So why omega 3? It's heart health predominantly, right? HDL. Okay. So high density lipoproteins. Mine sits around 50 plus consistently now after I started adding this guy. Again, genetics, bad genetics. I have trouble as I ate so much fish, mackerel, all this stuff. It doesn't move the needle. And then I came across, I tried several brands and I came across this guy. And, ever since I started taking this, that's what this blood work is. It's staying consistently right around 50s range. I'm happy and, I'm not going to give up. So I take two two times, one in the morning, one at night. So basically, each serving is 3 capsules. They're big. Let me show you. See, there's a little bigger. If you read the reviews on Amazon, people hated, hey, it's health. They would rather shove donuts than bitching about this. But anyway, so I take 3 of these in the morning, 3 at night. So what you get is EPA, DHA. So you need the combination of both, 1,300 milligrams of EPA and 860 milligrams of DHA. So 3 in the morning, 3 at night. Again, if you overdose this, you're not going to go wrong. So you need higher HDL, protects your heart, everything else. So omega 3 is a must, and I like this brand, Triple Strength. Again, available on Amazon. It's made from anchovy fish, those little tiny guys. So they're pretty good. And actually, I don't get any burps either. So, all right, let's go back to the screen. What's the next one? All right, so this is multi-trace trace minerals. All right, so cheap sense, so cheap. Full spectrum. I recommend this to all my friends, especially men and women. You both need this. This has the full spectrum. It controls your hormones, especially when you get older. So it has iodine, zinc, selenium, copper, manganese, chromium, molybdenum, and boron. All right. So most of them are 100% except iodine, from kelp. So that's only 33%. So one tiny little pill. It's so tiny. I take it in the morning. I give it to my son too because of zinc and other stuff. Chromium helps with sugar control. Selenium, healing inflammation, all the stuff. Again, guys, this is a must. Okay. So cheap. Go get this. I think it's like 200 tablets. I take one a day and I give it to my son. My little one, 6-year-old, I give her a multivitamin, but not broken down to this individual. Hopefully, when she around 7, I'll start breaking down, giving to individual doses. But anyways, my son takes this too here and there, but essential. So D, D3, K2, omega 3 multitrace. Next is NAC. All right. So NAC is acetyl L-cysteine. All right, 600 milligrams 2 times a day. It helps in production of antioxidants. It increase your natural antioxidant, which is glutathione, is a master antioxidant that your body makes. So it generates more glutathione in your body. So it fights inflammation. I mean, my inflammation is negligible, so I'm not sure. I've been taking this for more than a year. So this became popular in the last 2 years, especially function health person. I'm not sure the doctor's name. Anyways, he interviewed Rock. He helps Rock and a lot of these celebrities. So he takes this. He swears by it. So I've been taking this for almost 2 years now. One in the morning, one at night, and then if I travel, I take bunch with me. All right. So must NAC. So cheap. So 200 tablets, water soluble, small guy. Next one on my screen is magnesium. So, all right, magnesium. So, magnesium is very confusing because you listen to a lot of these health gurus, whether it's Huberman, Rhonda Patrick, all those guys, right? So, what are these popular guys now? They all have baggage. But anyways, so they all say magnesium, this, but there's so many types of magnesium. All right, I got confused myself. I said, screw it. Then thanks to this company, Totaria, right? It's a magnesium complex, 12 in one. I said, screw this. It discovers pretty much all the entire spectrum of magnesium, and I'm good. So I take one of these at night. Again, you don't know what magnesium is. It does a lot of stuff, but on a high level, it helps with cellular function, sleep, digestion, all kinds of stuff. All right. So especially sleep and calms you down. Calming effect is a big one. True story. Recommended this to my friend. He doesn't sleep well, and as soon as he started adding this, and this and omega 3, but I think mostly this. So his stress went down. He goes to sleep around 9:30, 10, and it's a habit. He modified his lifestyle, and then this helped him. All right. So that's the main one. So the main stack is D3, K2, omega 3, multitrace, minerals, NAC, magnesium. All right. So if you're skeptical, I don't know what to tell you, right? So I showed my blood work proof. I mean, that's the only way, right? You gotta test it. You put your body, put the vitamin and supplement, and how do you know it works? You test it and test with your blood work. So if you're don't want to spend money or you're skeptical, the main stack is a must. There's no excuse. Again, take from me. And I already did all the experimentation. I'm not charging anything. It's free, and I test it on my own body, and I even tell you exactly what brand. I don't get a penny, so it's all available on Amazon. And go get it. And it's not expensive. Again, for health, there shouldn't be any price. All right. Okay, so add-on stack. So what is add-on stack? All right. So these are all tailored to my stuff, which I'll go over one by one. I'm going to bring up Iris in a little bit too, and then see why I take certain things. So it's easy for me to explain. So let's start with nattokinase. All right. Nattokinase. All right. So nattokinase is made from fermented soybeans. So when soybeans get fermented, the bacteria, whatever, they make an enzyme called nattokinase. They extract that. So apparently, that helps you lower cholesterol. Help with plaque buildup. Basically, overall heart health. All right. So they recommend all the studies did see benefits with 8,000 FU. Again, that's the unit, guys. I'm not using a bad word. So I forgot what FU stand for, but so each one is 4,000. So two of them is 8,000. They're small. Um, so I take two at night. All right. So the brand I use is Natto Vinay. Again, available on Amazon. Um, I'm not sure. I mean, I've been taking this for almost 2 years now. I mean, my cholesterol usually around 230, 240. But I'm not sure after taking this, it's hovers around 205, 210. So I think it works, but there's a lot of science that supports this. So I'm taking this. So if you have bad genes that always have high cholesterol, my wife has good genes. Her cholesterol is always 190. I don't know how. Again, same with my friend. He's a big guy, but somehow his cholesterol is gifted. He is always around 190, 180. Pretty cool. So anyways, I'm on the higher end. So I believe you need cholesterol, but again, at the end of the day, I want to be cautious, so I take this. All right. Next one is ashwagandha. All right, so this is a natural. I think it's a root or a leaf. I'm not sure. So it's from India. India, it's famous. So to reduce stress, inflammation, mostly stress, cortisol, all that stuff, it lowers down. Also, it comes with the turmeric, rhodiola rosea, ginger, and black pepper. So I like this combination. I like this brand. So that's the only brand that does all this combination in it. So I take one in the morning, one at night. So I highly recommend this as well. Ashwagandha with four other stuff with ginger, turmeric, black pepper, and rhodiola rosea. So maybe this is one of the reason my inflammation markers are pretty much zero. So I'm not sure. So I take this, been taking this for several years. Vitamin C. A lot of studies are coming out. I've been taking vitamin C for several years now. Technology caught up. So if you see this, it's called liposomal vitamin C. What they do is they add a little bit of fat into each pill, so it gets absorbed a little bit better. It's a more bioavailable. So I like this brand. I take one in the morning, one at night. So each one is 2 grams or 2,000 milligrams. So it's high absorption. So I like this brand, Nature Bell. Again, there's other brands too, but I stuck with this. I like these guys. The pricing is good. So If I feel like I'm getting sick, I throw in a bunch. Again, you're not going to overdose on vitamin C. The bioavailability is very low. That's one of the bad part about vitamin C pills is I think it's barely an hour if you're lucky. So, anyways, 30 minutes to an hour is what you get. It's very hard to measure, but I trust this, so I take this guy. So there it is, vitamin C. Next one is let's see. So we did nattokinase, ashwagandha, vitamin C, and then TMG. All right. So what is TMG? Trimethylglycine. So this helps with methylation, inflammation, and muscle. All right, muscle recovery. So I've been taking this for a year. I think it helps me. So 1.5 grams. So 3 in the morning, 3 at night. So basically, I aim for 3 grams for the full day. So there's a lot of research on it. Go research yourself. But I added to my stack, especially a workout, and then I got methylation issues and stuff. So basically, the size. So I take 3 of these guys, and been taking this for years. Let's see. Next is B complex. All right. So I got a genetic issue with the methylation. So I got to take this. I cannot take a normal B complex pill. All right. So it won't get processed correctly. It'll be wasted. So I got to get this methylated version. So the company I use is Triquetra. So a lot of good reviews. Anyway, so it's a B complex, B6, B2, B12, all kinds of Bs in here, niacin, B5. So I take one in the morning. So it's a little pill. Um, so it works, gives me energy, and yeah, it's a must. So again, I put it on add-on stock. Uh, if you eat a lot of healthy stuff, which I do, you don't need this, but as I get older, I decided I need this. So again, with the methylation stuff going on, I need this B complex. So I added this. I mean, it could be my main stack, but I'm giving as an add-on stack for you guys, so you decide. But I highly recommend taking this, especially if you feel weak or you lose energy in the middle of the day. You definitely need this. Take one in the morning with food, and you should be good. Let's see. Next one is okay. So I take these. Let's see. So I take boron, stinging nettle root, DHEA, and Tungat Ali. So there's a reason behind I take all these three. This is where Iris came in and helped me based on my blood work. So all this has as reasoning as to why I take this, because this is just for me to optimize to the next level. All right. So we'll go over one by one. So all these I take once a day. So Tungat Ali I take one in the morning, one at night. So each one is 100 milligram extract. This is double wood. So this is to increase my free testosterone. So my regular testosterone is fine, around 600 plus. So which is okay, natural. I'm good. But my free T is on the lower end, so I want to increase this. So that's why I started adding this. Now all this has a story behind it. So I'll cover this, in a minute. Oh, let's see what else I missed. So that's pretty much my go to my screen share, my supplement stack. All right. So you got vitamin D as a main stack, K2, omega 3, multi trace minerals, NAC, magnesium, and then add-on stack is nattokinase, ashwagandha, vitamin C, TMG, B complex, Tongat Ali, stinging nettle root, boron, DHEA. All right, let's go to my iris. All right. So let's see. Ask Iris. As I already did. So why am I taking TMG? All right. So let's ask Iris. So TMG, if you remember, trimethyl glycine. So primary reason is MTFHFR support. So that's the genetic issue I have. So I carry this particular gene. So mild methylation impairment. Your methylation cycle converts homocysteine back to methionine using methyl groups. When MTHFR compromises, conversion slows. Homocysteine accumulates and methylation throughout your body becomes substrate limited. So it has three reasons. The primary one of the reason is that. Secondary reason, cardiovascular protection. All right, guys, I have some bad genes with respect to cardiovascular health. So, um, so this one, it brings the homocysteine levels down, and and kind of protects it. So that's one of the secondary reason. Third reason is lipid metabolism. So TMG modestly supports liver lipid processing, reduces hepatic fat accumulation, and supports bile acid synthesis. So with my ApoB of 131 and genetic LDL overproduction from SORT1 gene, GG, any liver lipid support is directionally beneficial. Do you see why I built Iris, right? So I fed my genetic data and blood work, all this stuff. 15. So look at this, guys. So when I ask a question, it gives me like no doctor can do this. So, anyways, so I'll keep building Iris, and hopefully it'll make me live until 99. It even tells me the split dose is correct. I take 3 grams, right? So 1500 milligrams in the morning and 1500 milligrams at night, and basically three. It's water soluble. So anyway, so that's that helps me. It gives me actually three reasons to take it. So that's TMG story. Why I am taking uh, what I'm taking to fix SHBG levels. All right. So if you look at my blood work, so SHBG is, you don't want to be too high because it suppresses your free testosterone. All right. So for me, I have a genetic disorder. So I have two genes. One suppresses SHBG, which is what I need, and the other guy increases SHBG. So at the end of the day, the net gain is zero. So if you look at the blood test, it seems it's right on the higher end. I don't like it just because I need more free testosterone. I'm on the lower end. So that's why I started taking boron. So currently one primary lever is boron 10 milligrams daily. I've been taking this for again, to see any reduction, you need at least 60 to 90 days of data. So I did start in February. I did a baseline, and then I tested back in April. Didn't move the needle much. So boron isn't moving the needle. My iris told me that. That's why, remember, I showed you the stinging nettle root. They all have a story. So now I said, okay, let's add this guy and see whether um, it moves the needle on SHBG. So I haven't tested my latest blood with for that marker. So hopefully, I think in a couple of weeks I'm gonna go do my test. I'm waiting a couple of months with this stringing nettle root extract, which I'm taking in the morning. So anyway, so that's that. And then next one, what other? So why I am taking DHEA? So the DHEA, is your body's most abundant circulating steroid or hormone, and declines 2% per year after age 25. Okay, at 46, we lost 40% of the peak DHEA-S production naturally. Okay, so supplementing, so mine is on the okay range. Like I said, remember, I don't want the average, I want above average. So supplementing 25 milligrams is what recommended based on studies, and then high risk recommends as well. So I started throwing that in. Again, you don't want it too much either. So I gotta check my free tea again, because with Tongat Ali I'm taking, and trying to reduce my SHBG. So hopefully, with the DHEA, all this stuff is gonna hopefully make a meaningful impact on my free tea. So that's my goal. So they said 25 milligrams is kind of the standard. You don't want to go too high, then it kind of messes up your estradiol balance. So anyway, so this is why I have Iris. So let's see. Let me ask you another question for demo. Uh, how is my vitamin D levels and omega? Okay. This is just for you guys to show demo. I mean, I already know what it is, but trying to see if Iris is still smart. I think it is, but it's thinking again. It has, you know, 16 years of my data, so it came back. Your vitamin D is excellent. I told you your target, current, slightly above upper target, optimal therapeutic range. So toxicity doesn't even begin until 150. Do you see this? So, so you got to be always above average. So, especially water levels are so good despite being in Denver. Two factors work in your favor. So again, it even tells how much I take. Vitamin K2 synergy I talked to you about. So you're crucially, you could trial dropping to 7,500 and retest. So vitamin D is one of the best managed biomarkers. No action required. Just maintain current protocol and recheck your next blood draw. So however, given your VD or intermediate variant requiring moderate supplementation, the supplementation staying at 10,000 IU is defensible. Um, so anyways, so just ask one question, it connects all the dots and then gives me blah, 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 all the answers, right? So this is what I need. No doctor can do this. Again, so you got at the end of this day, right? You need to take health, your control. You got to control your health. No, there's no other way. Doctor's not going to save you. Insurance is not going to save you. You got to be healthy. Education is key. I've been educating myself. Again, don't trust any of these big podcasters, or these big health influencers. I don't want to say podcasters. They always ride a wave. They do this, do that, but ask for proof. I showed you all my proof, right? If you watched all my video, blood works and the history, and I'm transparent, right? So I showed everything. So health is my passion. I hope you liked it. Again, this is my secret sauce. So I showed you, maybe in the next video, I'll show you probably my exercise stuff I do as well. But, again, this is the supplement stack. I highly recommend you guys to at least start with the main stack. Again, I'm not a doctor. Check your current medication to make sure there's no there's no counter acting, between the two, the vitamins and the prescription medication. I know always again, talk to your doctor. Sometimes it's useless. A lot of people say that, and they don't know jack shit. Again, I use my doctor just to do blood work. I tell them, hey, I need this, and at least he's been cooperative in that front for the last decade. But mostly, all this optimization is all me, right? So if I listen to my doctor, I'll be on like at least 5 medications already. So I always push back, and he knows now. He doesn't even ask me anymore. He said, "Hey, dude, what do you want to do?" I tell him, and he gets it done. So that's the way to do it, guys. You need to take health, control of your health, whatever means necessary. And AI is basically there to help you. I built Iris, and hope you learned, and then you can do the same. It's not rocket science, and you can figure it out. Again, goal for me personally is to live until 99, and I hope you can do the same. Again, this is all easy. I showed you the 3 pillars, so easy. And then the vitamins cheap. It's all on Amazon. Again, it's not going to break your bank. Again, it's for health. So it's most of them. If you cut your Starbucks drink or whatever you pay every day, that pays for itself. So anyways, I hope you like this video. Again, I feel like this is the most important video of all the videos I made. I don't know why, because I shared my entire, pretty much my whole, supplement routine. You know, this is the truth, right? Just this is me, and that's what I take. And I hopefully it was valuable for you. And hopefully you can go buy a bunch of these and get healthy. So any of this helps, leave me comments. Again, any questions you have, any vitamins, ask me, leave in the comment. I'll try to respond. Thank you again so much for watching this. Again, I'm doing the repetitions, as I said in one of those videos. So I'm putting in the reps on this YouTube game. I like it. I like educating, especially health is my passion. So hopefully I'm resonating with the, whoever's watching on the other end. And, if any questions or anything, leave a comment. Thank you again so much. You guys all have a great day. We'll see you guys on the next video. Appreciate it.